to Haut-Beyleron. So we're here. FS22 is finally released. We've all been looking forward to it for a long time. And this is going to be our first Let's Play. So we've started off in New Farmer on Haut-Beyleron, or Haut-Beyleron, however it's pronounced. I'm not entirely sure. If you do know, please let us know in the comments. I'd hate to continue to mispronounce how this little town is, or what this little town is actually called. So I'm not going to give you too much of a walkthrough on the equipment. I'm sure you have seen it now, whether it be Daggerwin, Chainsaw 100, or whether it be Farmer Cop or the Farm Sim guy, or many of the various streamers on Facebook or Twitch or even YouTube. So essentially the plan is we want to try and build this farm as quickly as we can using the equipment we're given. So there you can see my little guy. Got the high vis on, got the work pants, skate shoes, the hat and the glasses. Pretty well representing how I would go to work on the farm. But anyway, we'll jump into the Massey. We'll get this guy moving forward. And we'll start off. What we'll do is we'll do a little bit of the work on each to begin with, and then we'll pass it on as far as the cultivating and the seeding go, or the drilling. We'll jump into the harvester. The harvester will be our first time lapse. So once we've done a little bit of the cultivating and the seeding, we'll pass it on to a worker. They'll continue on while we get the harvest done. And then we will look at what we're going to do with the leftover straw from that particular crop. Okay guys, so first impressions is I'm really liking the game. It is great. The visual aspect, so the graphics, it is so much better from base game than what I was seeing in FS19. Really enjoying the graphics. I've not had to adjust anything. This is literally just the way it was booted up. So we downloaded it, jumped in, had a look around, played around with our controls, and here we are. One thing I haven't done yet is a volume test. To me, that tractor sounds pretty quiet, but I do have vehicle sounds on 100%. So what I can do from there is potentially up my desktop volume in the mixer, but if it's too quiet or my voice is too loud, please let me know. We'll work on that for one of the upcoming videos. Chances are what I'm going to do here is just back to back a couple of episodes, at least get a couple on the go, because we do still have Sandy Bay running on FS19, so we want to keep that going until it feels like it's at a natural conclusion. And what we might do from the Sandy Bay one is the money that we have when we sell everything, and we will sell everything, will be the money that we start with in Elm Creek. So yeah, that will be the last series that we play on FS19. I may still do a couple of multiplayers with some of the guys, but as for streaming or recording videos, Sandy Bay will be the last one. So I'm not sure if you guys have been paying too much attention, but how good does that dirt look coming out of the back of that cultivator? It's nice and fluffy, creating a nice bed ready for seeding. Now, I'll have to jump in and have a look, but I'm pretty sure all of these fields that we have are going to require ploughing. So what we'll have to do in the not too distant future, the next time that these fields are due, or the next time that we harvest, we're going to have to get a plough in here. But that's okay, so we'll get a plough in, we'll end up with a lime spreader. The lime spreader will also double as our fert spreader. So we can make these fields as absolutely productive as we possibly can. Anyway, what we'll do, like I said, we'll let old mate continue on with that. We'll jump across over to the voucher. Before we go too far, new addition to the game. Absolutely love this addition. You've got to get rid of the rocks. So whether you cultivate, you spade, you plow, you power harrow, depending on what you do, depends on the size of the rocks you bring up. So just your ground surface work, so you're cultivating and so on, you're just going to bring up some smaller rocks. But once you get in and you start ploughing away and digging up the ground, you will bring up some bigger rocks. Okay, now seeding. What do we want to drill? What have we got available to us at this time of the year? So we're in middle of August, and I do have this set on 2-day months. So we're actually start of August. Set at 2-day months, so we're essentially running, 6-day seasons. So we can do canola, poplar, grass, or oilseed radish. Well, that leaves us with one option really, doesn't it? So this field we're going to put some canola into. So we want to change that seed to canola. I'm going to pull that camera out a little bit. Oh, we need to unfold it. Oh yes, because the end's pulled. Okay. That's the first time I've had to unfold a small seeder. Get it dropped down. And we are underway. Now you'll notice that the texture is a lot harder to see than it was in 19. So this is where running your line markers or your side markers would be very beneficial. Sorry about that, guys. Doug got a little bit excited. Okay, so what we'll do here, we'll just shut you down for a second. We'll jump out, we'll move the harvester in. Actually, we won't move it in. What we'll do is move it out of the way, off to the side here. We'll actually harvest from the other direction. Rather than across, we'll go lengthwise up and down. Put that down on the ground. Shut him down. Yeah. So like I said, we'll be into that in a second anyway. We just want to have a little play around. It started back up again. And this is where diff lock would really help. Careful here because we do have crop destruction on. Crop destruction's on, periodic ploughing's on, weeds are on, and line requirement is on. So we're going to need all of that. Now, as you'll know, I like playing with precision farming. We don't have that yet in 22. Hopefully in the not too distant future we will see that converted across. So yes, we still do have line requirement. And as you'll notice, as we sort of move through these first couple of episodes, I am still getting used to the new equipment that we've got for the setup. So for those of you that haven't seen, haven't heard, or so on, we actually got the Logitech G923, so the PS4 PC steering wheel. And the other thing we got, which was a birthday gift from the beautiful girlfriend, was the dual Thrustmaster TM16000s. So the dual joysticks. That's definitely aimed more towards the logging equipment, but obviously things like front loaders, wheel loaders, bobcats and so on will all benefit from those as well, but we do have to get used to them. I've had a quick play around and stacking bales, which I normally wasn't too bad at with the old PS4 controller, has become a completely different monster, to say the least. So anyway, we'll get used to that as time goes on and hopefully get a lot better at it. But what we're going to do now, we'll jump out, we'll let him take off and do his own thing, and we'll jump into the harvester. We'll do a lap up and down, probably not even a lap down, probably just the lap up, and then we'll get this sunk into our first time lapse for the new game. So those of you that have got the game, how are you finding it? I am really liking it. Ah yes, I need to unfold the harvester first before we kick it into gear. So I'm really enjoying it, like I've sort of made a little obvious. The graphics are unbelievable. Some of the new systems or things you can do are great. The fact that Seasons is now a part of the base game and it's in a format that's easy to understand, it's easy to work with. Also, the biggest thing for me, the thing I liked the most about FS19 was playing with productions. So using whatever it is you've made to essentially make something else. That for me was one of my favorite things, especially with what was it? It was the sugar beet add-on. I really did enjoy that. Anyway, so we'll get going on our run back down, and what we'll do is we will kick this straight into the time lapse. So we will see you guys once we've got the field completed.
I'm sick of lying here all alone and nearly sleepless at night. I'm honest, it's boring. 1,000,000 demons surrounding me, picking a fight. It's toxic. You were the best I ever had, but every second you were screwing me over, and now I'm done with it. I guess that there was no surprise, deleting you out of my mind. Isn't it iconic, standing on the front line, steady going forward without knowing the direction? I need to be honest, it was for the better. Now every day is perfect for a lifelong celebration. Go ahead.
Okay guys, so what we've got going on is we've got a full harvester. So we'll run across here, we'll grab our third tractor, the Stayer 8150 Turbo, the Stayermatic. We'll jump in here, we'll get him started up and pull up, pick up our trailer. Alright, I've hit the wrong button again. Get that unfolded. We'll go and empty up. Now, what I think we're going to do is, judging by the time of year and the fact that everybody else is going to be selling their crops at the moment, supply and demand's just not there. So we're actually going to hold on to our crop for a little while. We're not screaming for money, and we are going to start off small and play this up. So we'll hold on to our crops, we'll put them over into the silo, and we will sell when the supply is a lot shorter so the demand is a lot higher. But one thing we do want to do is figure out how we're going to deal with this straw. Do we pick it up this time? Do we leave it? Something else we've got to do is have a search through the used machinery. So this is something that I absolutely love that they've brought into the game, and the way they've brought it in. You cannot just select anything in the shop that you want to have as a used machine, like you could do with the mod for used machinery on FS19. You now literally get given a few options as per what the local dealers have in their trade-in section at that particular point in time, and it disappears, almost like somebody else on the map has bought it. It is brilliant. So it's a potluck, and that is exactly how it should be. But anyway, you will notice once we do jump into or back into the Stayer that trailer is not full. However, it is as full as we can get it. Another thing that I like that they've brought in is max allowable weights. So your trailer may hold 8, 12, 16, 32,000 litres, or how they've done it now is meters cubed. However, depending on what it is you've got in your trailer, depends on how much weight is in that trailer, and that trailer has a max allowable weight. And that is brilliant. It's how it should be. For the sake of not destroying your trailers or your equipment, you wouldn't overload this stuff in real life. Or you would run the risk and do it if you absolutely have to. But for the most part, you just wouldn't do it. Especially not if you're going to be travelling down a road and potentially get pulled up. But anyway, we'll throw this back into the time lapse. We'll get this completed, and once it's done, we'll start contemplating what our next move is. Okay guys, see you soon.
The good days, but good wasn't the only perspective of all the days that we had. We lost it. You were the best I ever had, but every second you were screwing me over, and now I'm done with it. I guess that there was no surprise. Deleting you out of my mind. Isn't it iconic? Standing on the front line, steady going forward without knowing the direction. I need to be honest, it was for the better.
Okay guys, so welcome back. What you'll notice is we are now officially finished with the harvest for season 1. Should this be season -1? Or season 0? Oh dear. There they are. Keep playing out there, they're going to get hit by a car. Anyway, that is their problem, not mine. So, yeah, as I was saying, that's the harvest done for this season. Now, we've obviously taken over the farm at the end of somebody's season, and they just didn't get around to harvesting that particular field. So, what we need to do now is figure out exactly what we are going to do to take care of all that straw. So with what we put into the silo, that will, like I said, stay there until the price comes up, and I'll show you that what I mean once we move this out of the way. Oh, keep pressing that. Fiddly controller on the top of this new wheel. But yeah, what I'm talking about is the price fluctuations. So obviously as something gets harvested, it's that time of the year for that particular crop to be harvested. So it ends up with a very high supply, and therefore, well, I'm steering the wrong way there, therefore a very low demand. Yeah, I've got to get used to this. Sorry guys, this will take a while to get used to, but I promise we'll get there. Okay, so that is the harvester parked up for a year or thereabouts. So what we'll do to finish off this episode, we will pull the Massey Ferguson out of the field once we've emptied this bin or this trailer, and there you go. So yeah, 90%, this is what I was speaking about earlier, the weights of trailers. So we can fit a max of 90% in there for our wheat, and at 90% or 7.2 cubic meters, we reach the max tolerable weight for this trailer. But anyway, where was I? So yeah, to finish off the episode, we'll get this tipped. We will bring the Massey Ferguson back out of the field, and we will have a look at what it is that we can potentially do to get that straw picked up, and that will be the end of the episode. So let's get this unloading. while that's unloading, we'll run down. And we've also got to work out how we're going to go about picking up all these rocks as well. Oh, this guy missed chunks. He has. So much for a smart AI worker. Okay. Let's get that dropped down again. That's alright. 2 small little patches. So yeah, we've got to work out how to pick up straw and also how to pick up our rocks. Now, being that we've only cultivated and they are only the small rocks, we could get away with rolling them in. I'm on the wrong side of the road there. Yeah, we could get away with rolling them in. However, they're still going to be there. And if we remove them, there's less chance that we're going to damage our equipment. So we shall. Where are we going to put this? Okay, so we'll put this right here. Get that dropped off. Leave you there. Now, we don't need this trailer just yet, so we can swing this around, find somewhere to park it. I honestly reckon I'm not going to try and back it into the shed because it is a dolly, and as you've seen, I was having enough difficulties trying to reverse just the harvester into the shed. So we'll drop that guy there. We'll get this switched off, and very quickly before we end the episode, we will have a look at what it is. Oops, I'm in the wrong menu there. That is available in discounts. So essentially, before we go into discounts, we're going to need a forage wagon to pick up the straw, and then we can put it into our hayloft. That may be the way we go. Or we can rent a baler, buy a bale trailer. But if we do that, we're also going to need a front loader and bale spike, pallet fork. We're going to need those anyway, and we will purchase them. So what we'll get is, I reckon we'll go with one of them. Design color. What's it going on to? The style. There is no style. So we'll go with Massey Red. Yep. I'm happy with that. So we will buy that because we need it. As for front loader tools, we are going to need a bucket. So we'll buy one of them. We'll just get set up here with a few things that we need, and I'll bring them back off screen. We are going to want a bale spike eventually. And at $600, I'm not going to say no and not buy it. And we are going to want a set of pallet forks, and they are a must. Rightio. So I bought a few things. Now, if we look at forage wagons, like we're looking at $30,000 to buy a small one. It's only a requirement of 60 horsepower to run. It'll hold 16,000 litres, as you will have been used to calling it in 19. In 20, that's 16.1 cubic meters. So you're looking at 30,000 for that. Oh, and you can upgrade your license plate for free. So we will eventually look into personalizing all of our license plates. Not just yet though. Not just yet. Now our other option is a baler. So we could purchase the Massey Ferguson, the small quadrant baler. This thing is, they're tiny bales. You can pick those bales up by hand. Other options are our round balers, and they start getting a lot more expensive. So 125 centimeters, judging by the last lot we pumped out on a quick test, it was 5,000 litre bales, I think they were. So we've got that option as well. Then we need to come in, we also need to get a bale trailer, so whether you go the Anderson, like self-loading trailers, so the Arkeson or the Anderson, or you just do what I do. You buy a standard flat deck trailer and you go from there. So we're going to want that anyway. So we will buy that as well, because we are going to start carrying pallets of seed and fertilizer and lime back to the farm. So we're going to want a trailer. Right, now we look and see what it is we've got options for. And to be honest, I'm not surprised. We don't have a great deal of options at all. There's obviously nothing there we can use to pick up the straw. However, there is a small Massey, which could be a nice replacement. No, see, it's already 50 something horsepower less than the Steyr or the Steyr. So we will keep what we've got and we will work with it. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining in. Thanks for coming and checking out the first video of what will hopefully be a very long series. And hopefully a very enjoyable one. So, rightio guys, we will see you again next time on Haut-Beyleron.